to be a part of such an historic, monumental event is it's a tremendous opportunity, and it's really exciting.
That was probably the highlight, I think, of his visit. I just thought it was absolutely marvelous to be a part of it.
It welled up in me an emotion that you can see now. It's so many people with the same mindset, and we're all together for one purpose.
I am most grateful for your invitation to address this joint session of Congress in the land of the free at the home of the brave.
And what do you think maybe folks here in the United States could learn from what the Pope is saying?
Compassion. I think we all need that these days with all the craziness going on.
Patience, love, caring about people, looking out for everybody.
The tolerance, the compassion, the empathy, all those things are important, how to coexist, how to forgive, how to forget.
It was a historic day of the first South American Pope on his first visit to the United States. And like Pope Francis, the welcome was low-key and it was simple.
As you can see, the Vatican Embassy is gearing up for this historic visit. Heavy metal barriers that are lining Massachusetts Avenue. It's going to bring the Pope from the airport to the Vatican Embassy, where he'll be staying for the duration of his trip.
On his first visit to America, the Pope will conduct the Mass in his native tongue, in Spanish, but it doesn't stop there. He also requested from the choir to sing some of his favorite tango music during the Mass.
And this is just the calm before the storm. Over the next few days, Monday through Thursday, this area is going to be filled to the brim.
I'm here just outside the White House, where Pope Francis will be stepping foot Wednesday morning. President Obama and the First Lady will be hosting a welcoming ceremony, and shortly thereafter, just in front of me, the motorcade will take place, where the public will have their best shot at getting a glimpse of the pontiff.
Pope Francis arrives here in Washington. Many people very anxious for his arrival, but some groups are hoping that he's more than just words.
The priest that raped me for years was my best friend's uncle. Maybe something all of us are doing today will protect one child, and then it's all worth it. How long are you willing to wait if it's your child at risk?
It could kill 1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
I'm here just outside the White House, where several groups are gathered just ahead of the Pope's visit, spreading several messages about climate change, poverty, and nonviolence, in hopes that the Pope's visit will help support their campaign.
There's already a large crowd gathered for Pope Francis' arrival at the Vatican Embassy tonight, but the main message on everyone's mind tonight is climate change.
A fanfare and a crowd of 15,000 welcomed Pope Francis to the White House. President Obama and the First Lady were waiting as the papal fiat rolled to a stop. The crowd here today was very receptive, a lot of positive energy and cheering, especially when issues mentioned such as climate change and poverty.
Climate control is at the top of the list. Unity is the top of the list, and he is wonderful.
It was great to hear him speak about social issues and things that are going on and what our generation needs to do. And so it's something that applies to everyone. It doesn't matter what religion.
And here at the Ellipse Park, barricades like these right behind me are set up to protect the upwards of 14,000 people expected to attend Pope Francis's parade.
They came from all over. Some camped out overnight. They waited for hours for a peek at the Pope.
Poland.
Jamaica! Philippines!
Nagasaki, Japan.
Anytime we get to see the Pope, it's a pretty special event, and it's kind of like a one-in-a-lifetime thing.
The papal parade just ended here in Washington, D.C., and the energy is electric. For the thousands of people that came here today, some of them it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. For all of them, they've officially been blessed by the leader of the Catholic Church.
I'm here outside the Cathedral of St. Matthew the Apostle. This cathedral holding its 175th anniversary this year. Now, Pope Francis will be arriving here shortly to hold a midday prayer ceremony before 300 American bishops. After the White House welcome, Pope Francis got down to business with his bishops at St. Matthew's Cathedral.
It was absolutely on point about what's going on, you know, opening your heart to immigrants and not being judgmental and taking care of people who've been hurt.
My family's immigrants from Mexico as well, so that one touched home, and just being there for the immigrants.
And Pope Francis's historic U.S. visit continues. Right now we are watching that papal fiat make its way off down the road as he leaves St. Matthew's. We do know that he's going to be heading over to the National Basilica shortly to put on Mass for more than 20,000 people.
Here at the Basilica, located on the Catholic University's campus, the 90-voice choir will perform along with 4 other choirs for the canonization Mass.
In his native tongue, Spanish, he recited Mass for 26,000 spectators, all waiting to see the canonization of Juniper Serra.
Just his pastoral sense of mercy for everyone, and that everyone is a part of the church, and how God blesses us all.
A historic Mass here at the National Basilica has just ended, but Thursday morning the Pope is scheduled to speak with Congress for the first time in papal history.
Mr. Speaker, the Pope of the Holy See.
History as Pope Francis becomes the first pontiff to address Congress, hitting on a number of global issues: climate change, poverty, the death penalty, abortion, and immigration.
Are not fearful of foreigners, because most of us were once foreigners.
More than 40,000 gathered around the Capitol Thursday. Some came as early as 3 a.m. to wait for standing room only spots to hear the Pope's message.
I feel like I would have had a lot of regrets if I didn't come down today.
He's kind of balanced on a lot of issues, and I think that's something that our leaders can learn from him.
He's here to bring peace to everyone, and for us to come as one, not as individuals, but as a group, as one, within the eyes of God.
After today, the Pope will be heading out to New York and Philadelphia to complete his 6-day trip in the United States.
Pope Francis could have lunched with the Capitol Hill elites. Instead, he broke bread with the clients of Catholic Charities.
Buen appetito.
I reached my hand out, and his hand, the touch of his hand was so soft, warm, and a good feeling. It went through my body.
Meeting the Pope is a deeply religious and emotional experience. That man wasn't alone.
How gracious he was to come and visit, try to see and be seen by so many people who want to be reached out.
The Pope made his way through the tables behind me, shaking hands and sharing words with people, something he's truly known and adored for. And with that ends the Holy Father's visit to our nation's capital. In Washington, I'm Christina Lowe.
Reporting from Washington, I'm Christina Galato.
Reporting from Washington, D.C., I'm Heather Golden.
That's the very latest here in Washington, D.C. I'm Paul Dudley.
In Washington, D.C. for the BU News Service, I'm Christina Ernie.
In Washington, I'm Justin Soto.
Reporting from the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., I'm Lauren Westberg.